Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about technology and confidentiality. More and more often, domestic violence programs are incorporating technology use into their work. Advocates use email, text messaging, or other communication apps to communicate with survivors, work away from the office or in the community, or just make certain aspects of work easier. While these technologies are great for improving the delivery of domestic violence services, there are also privacy risks associated with these technologies. While the Violence Against Women Act does not have any specific rules regarding technology use by a domestic violence program, it does require programs and advocates to take reasonable efforts to prevent the accidental release of a survivor's information. Here are a few important practices you can incorporate into your work when using technology and ensure you are doing your best to keep a survivor's information confidential. Number 1, always speak with a survivor about what method of communication they are most comfortable with and any concerns the survivor might have about electronic or mobile communication. Just because you prefer to communicate through email or text messaging does not mean all survivors will also want to communicate that way. Remember that it is the survivor's information you are keeping confidential, not yours. So it is important to handle that information in the way a survivor is most comfortable with. Number 2, only use a personal device when absolutely necessary. It is best to use a phone, computer, or tablet that is purchased and owned by your domestic violence program. When you use your own device, like a cell phone or tablet, it can be very difficult to keep a survivor's information confidential while also using that device for your personal everyday needs, like communicating with a partner or family or making appointments or anything like that. For example, you might want to turn location sharing on your phone so that you can use it for GPS or for the other benefits it offers when using certain apps. Or, for example, when you lose your phone, it might make it easier to find your phone. But if you are using that device to communicate with a survivor or go with a survivor to certain appointments, it could inadvertently put the survivor at risk of being found by an abuser. It is possible that an abuser who is very tech savvy could access that GPS data and somehow use it to locate the survivor. If you were using a program device, you would not have this problem because there would be no need or benefit to having the location sharing on. Number 3, always password protect all devices you use to communicate with survivors or store any information about survivors. This is important in case a device is lost or stolen, especially if you live in a small community. Programs should always password protect any computers or mobile devices that they personally own, and if you are an advocate using your own cell phone or tablet, you should make sure that your personal devices are also password protected. Additionally, you should make sure that your partner or family members do not know your password and would not be able to access your device if there's information about a survivor on it. Under the Violence Against Women Act, you may not share a survivor's information with anyone without the survivor's consent, and that includes sharing information with people you might know but the survivor does not. So make sure your phone is password protected and change your password frequently or use fingerprint passcode protection if necessary to keep the survivor's information protected. Number 4, when using a text message to communicate with a survivor, save as little information as possible on your cell phone. And when your relationship with the survivor is over, delete the survivor's contact information and your text conversations from your phone. If you need any of this information to do follow-up with the survivor, you should store it with your program's other records, but not on your personal mobile device. Make sure that the survivor's information is also deleted from any data backups of your phone. Sometimes your phone might back up information, and even though you delete it from the actual phone, it is still in the data backup. So make sure it is deleted from both places. Well, those are just a few important practices you should follow when using technology in your work. There are many other issues related to technology and confidentiality. For example, when programs use cloud-based services to store data, but these are beyond the scope of this course. Always feel free to contact the Minnesota Coalition for Battered Women with any questions related to the use of technology. Thanks.